In a world of shimmering skyscrapers, Adrian Cole, a young billionaire CEO, found himself trapped in a gilded cage. He was tired of the fake smiles and calculated affection that his wealth attracted. So, he devised a plan, a secret test. For 1 month, he would trade his designer suits for a janitor's uniform, becoming an invisible fixture in his own company. On his first day, he was met with a wall of indifference. Employees bustled past, their eyes seeing through him. But then there was Mara, a soft-spoken woman from a world away from his. She offered him a simple, genuine smile. It was a small gesture, a fleeting moment, but in her eyes, he wasn't a janitor or a CEO. He was just a person. As the lunch bell rang, his colleagues swarmed the fancy cafe nearby, leaving him alone with his meager meal. Just then, Mara Lane, a kind-hearted intern, approached his solitary corner. She noticed his sparse lunch and, without a word, quietly placed half of her own food in front of him. "You can have some, if you want," she offered with a gentle smile. Adrian stared, taken aback. No one had ever shown him such simple, unprompted kindness. Before he could thank her, Mara's friends called her away, teasing. "Why waste your food on a janitor?" Mara simply glanced back at Adrian, her expression soft, and whispered, "Kindness is never a waste." Later that week, a violent storm swept through the city, turning the streets into rivers. As Adrian carried heavy boxes up the wet entrance steps, his foot slipped, and he went tumbling down. People watched from their windows, but no one moved to help, except for Mara. Without a second thought, she ran out into the downpour, her clothes instantly soaked. "Are you hurt?" she asked, her voice full of concern. He wasn't, not physically, but the shock in his chest was real. There was no judgment in her eyes, no hesitation in her actions, just pure kindness. It was a kindness he wasn't used to, a warmth that cut through the cold rain. The following day, a heavy silence hung over the office where Mara's vibrant presence used to be. She didn't show up. Whispers soon swirled through the hallways like a bitter wind. Her landlord had evicted her over unpaid rent. Adrian, still in his janitor disguise, felt a sharp pang in his chest, driven by a desperate need for answers. He secretly reviewed the security footage from the previous night. The screen showed Mara leaving the building, her face streaked with tears. He wanted to rush to her side to fix everything, but he knew he couldn't reveal his true identity yet. Not until he truly understood her heart. So, with a new resolve, he decided to follow her trail, a silent guardian determined to find the woman who had captivated him. He eventually found her working a grueling night shift at a tiny, dimly lit roadside restaurant. She was a ghost of her former self, exhausted and barely able to stand. Yet she still greeted every customer with a genuine, though weary, smile. When she finally stepped outside for a breath of crisp night air, Adrian approached her, his heart aching. "Mara, are you okay?" he asked softly. She forced a tiny, brave smile. "I'll be fine. I just need to work harder." There was no hint of complaint or despair in her voice, only pure, unyielding strength. In that moment, he realized he had never admired anyone so deeply. Adrian knew then that his search was over, and a new chapter, one where he would protect that incredible spirit, was just beginning. His heart had made its choice. Later that day, an urgent email sent a ripple of excitement through the company. An all-hands meeting with the mysterious CEO was to take place immediately. Employees scrambled into the conference hall, buzzing with anticipation. Everyone was there except for one person, Mara, who was diligently wiping down tables in the now-empty cafeteria, completely oblivious. A hush fell as a figure walked onto the stage. It was Adrian, but not the janitor she knew. He was dressed in a tailored suit that whispered wealth and power. The crowd gasped in unison. Hearing the commotion, Mara finally looked up. Her eyes widened, her cleaning cloth slipping from her grasp. The janitor was the CEO. Her hands trembled as a single, disbelieving word escaped her lips. "You?" His gaze finding Mara Lane in the crowd. Their eyes locked, and he stepped down, moving toward her as a hush fell over the room. He walked past rows of stunned onlookers, his focus solely on her. "I hid who I was. because I needed to know who truly saw me," he said, his voice clear in the sudden silence. Whispers erupted, but Adrian ignored them. "My test was simple. Kindness without conditions." Mara, in her simple office clothes, looked terrified. I didn't know," she stammered, her face pale. "That's why it meant everything." He finished softly, his words a raw, honest confession. It wasn't about romance in that moment, but a profound truth. He saw her, and she had seen him. He handed her an envelope, his gaze steady. Inside, Mara found a fully paid apartment contract, a gesture so grand it took her breath away. Her eyes widened, a mix of shock and disbelief clouding her features. She looked up at him, her voice a soft whisper in the quiet room. "I don't want anything for free," she insisted, her integrity shining through. Adrian's lips curved into a gentle smile. "It's not free," he replied softly. "It's a thank you." The silence that followed was filled with unspoken understanding. There was no gold digger, no hidden agenda, just a woman who had helped a stranger without expecting anything in return. For Adrian, it was a moment of pure clarity. He had finally found someone real. They stood there, on the brink of a new beginning, ready to explore what fate had in store.